What's up, you guys? So look, there's two underrated Pokemon games that nobody really talks about that much that are legit the best ones, and that's freaking Pokemon Gale of Darkness, bro. Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness and Pokemon freaking Coliseum. These are legit two of probably the best Pokemon games I think I've ever played in my life. And what I used to do is I used to play both of these, and then I had for a while I had Pokemon Emerald, Sapphire, and Ruby all at the same time. I had all five of the games, and I had Leaf Green. I don't have that Leaf Green no more. I have this Fire Red that doesn't even work no more. It's just for show. It does not work at all. And I remember you can trade over your Pokemon, right? You can trade Pokemon from each game. That's how I would trade because I didn't have two Game Boys. So I would use the GameCube to Game Boy connector, and I would trade Pokemon from like for example, I'll put Emerald, I'll take the Pokemon from Emerald and put them on to like Leaf Green. That's how I used to do that, right? And I remember back in the day, basically what I did is you had to beat the game first. When it was Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, you had to beat the whole game to be able to trade. And then Fire Red and Leaf Green, you had to, if I remember correctly, when you got to the Sevi Islands, you had to actually like beat the Sevi Islands and stuff too before you could actually trade. You had to do a whole bunch with Leaf Green and Fire Red. Um, and I remember, I think you also had to beat these games as well before you can trade. I think you had to beat all the games. But I used to do that all the time. And I remember I had my Leaf Green version, bro. And I had Sapphire. And on Sapphire, I had a couple of hacked Pokemon. I ain't going to lie to you. You know, I had Latios and Latios. They were both hacked. Somebody gave them to me. And I had Swampert. And that was my first ever starter when it comes to Emerald, Sapphire, and Ruby. You know, Mudkip was my first starter. And I remember I had traded the Latios and Latios and the Swampert. I traded those over to my Leaf Green, and I traded over the Rayquaza. So I had, I think it was level 85 Rayquaza, Latios, Zapdos, Blastoise, and Swampert. That was my party, bro. I had all the freaking legendaries, and it was just fun. It was just some fun activity that I remember doing. That was probably one of the last things I did with my Leaf Green because how I was when I was a kid, I wanted the new recent Pokemon games, and my mom didn't have enough money to buy them. So what I would do is I would sell my old games to buy the new games. I used to do that as a kid all the time. Um, and this is just one small part of the story. I want to tell y'all more about Pokemon Coliseum and Pokemon XD Yellow Darkness because they're really freaking good games. They're so underrated. They're so damn good. And they're from third companies. They're not even like from the main Pokemon line. They're so